So happy Monday. Every Monday we're here at 5 Central. How you doing, John Alexander, Frank Spalding? Y'all have a good weekend?
Hey, Daniel. Had a great weekend. I hear you guys had a great time.
No complaints.
Yeah, we had a great time. I'm gonna do a quick recap from this weekend, and then we're gonna jump right into it.
Great.
This weekend was amazing. We went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We got to speak for a few minutes. Got to have a lot of users out there. We had a great time, great experience. Got to buy all our users dinner, and just had a great time networking with fellow like-minded people. It's a great experience. I don't think we had. I don't know. Maybe Junior was there. I'm going through the list. Junior was there. Junior, do you have a takeaway from the event from Milwaukee?
So much, buddy. So much. Got to network with a lot of individuals. Tang, Carlos Reyes, like a whole bunch of people that I've never ever talked ever before. I got to hang out with them. The party stuff was different, but yeah, dude, just networking with a lot of people. It was great.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it was. We had a great time. Great time with Junior and Ray. It's a lot of good things happened this week. It was great. Let's kind of hop in for wins. Anybody have a win that happened from last week? They want to share wins with the group, as far as anything good that happened, real estate, business, family. Who's got a win for this week? Go ahead, Junior.
We closed on that 28 acres while we were over there in Milwaukee. So that was a good one.
Okay. Awesome. Anybody else have any other wins from this week?
Yeah, I picked up another deal, partnership with another person on the deal. They brought the deal to me. It looked like a really difficult deal, quite frankly. Turned out it wasn't as bad as what it initially looked like. And we made contact with a seller. And after they got back with their brother and approved it, we've got that deal now.
Right.
And that's a deal right at a major intersection in Fort Worth. So I'm excited about it.
Traffic and eyes is always a plus. It's easier to sell.
Yes. Location.
That's it. You got a win, DeAndre?
Yeah, I will call it a half win or 75% win. But so I'm closing on my first seller finance deal. Picked up a cheap lot for $4,500, and I'm going to be selling it on seller financing for $9,000. So the title came back free and clear today. So I'm good to close on it, but I'm going to be closing on it and then reselling it. So it's a 75% win because I'm going to close, but I do got to get the seller finance documents ready for the buyer. So 75% win.
No, almost there.
Almost.
That's a win. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I just closed a JV deal today. I just funded, which is good. I brought it up a couple of weeks ago in the Hive. Some guy brought me a deal in Cape Coral, 2 lots, high-end lots. Seller wanted 195 each for them. And one of my good buyers in that area ponied up and paid 470. So I paid an agent like 14 grand who does a lot of my deals, and she works with a couple of these buyers really closely. And there's really no getting around her, which I don't want to anyway, because she's great and I like working with her and she earns every penny. So my JV partner and I both walked with 28 grand each, and then the agent walked with 14.
That's dope, man. So I'm gonna preach on Matt Rogers here. So I have an episode releasing tomorrow with Matt Rogers on the podcast. It's how to start land investing virtually A to Z, and it was a great conversation that we had. I think we hit every point that you need to do virtually real estate with, and one of those was working with agents. So I'm really glad to mention that because he does it a lot. And we mentioned this in the podcast that he works with one agent for like 2 years. Every deal that goes through her, he just pays her out. So it's very important to build relationships, and the power of relationships is limitless.
Yeah, it really is. And, we touch on this in the podcast interview, but while we're here right now discussing it, Not every deal is something that is, meant to work with an agent. If you can get the deal done yourself and save some of that money, that's great. But in the times where you do need them, or you have a relationship and they have a really good relationship with their buyer, one of these buyers that buys a lot of my deals, they only want to work through the agent. So if I wanted to try to go around them, I could, but it would just be foolish. And honestly, they've brought me some other deals that I found I wouldn't have been able to find elsewhere either. So, the money that gets paid out to them on the deals I close with them, I look at it as an investment for future deals. So you can penny pinch and think, hey, I'm losing a few grand here on every deal, or in this case, 14 grand. But they earned every penny of it. And they trust me now. I trust them. And they've brought me deals that I've closed on and they've made some money on. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I look at it as a long-term relationship. Something could go south at any point. Of course, that's just the name of the way this business works. But for the most part, if you go into it trying to think long-term and play long-term games, then a situation like this happens where, we were able to close this thing inside 30 days. And I didn't even find the deal. A guy in my network, not a Hive member, but I'm in Pace Morby's sub 2 group. A member in there brought me that still didn't know what to do with it. And we got it closed in 30 days and both walked with 28 grand. So, and the agent was able to facilitate that with her big buyer to get that deal done quickly. So
Leveraging agents.
Work in the right situations, forming great relationships with them pays dividends, and it's something you can do over and over again for long periods of time. And even these are infill lots in Florida. My rural vacant land, I have a broker I work with in Indiana who does a lot of my deals, and he's my boots on the ground there and sources deals for me, reps deals. I've wholesale deals to him, and that's just another agent I work with. So don't there are people that say, oh, agents this, agents that. I mean, not all of them are great, but there are a lot of really good ones out there. And if you find investor-friendly ones, you can do deals with them all day long, and it's great.
Oh, that's amazing, man. Definitely a lot of opportunity. Please go check out tomorrow's episode. It is a really good one. We did a couple weeks ago, so I'm really excited for that one. Because I was like, I talked to one of my friends from high school today, and it was his birthday today, so I called him on his birthday. And I told him, I was like, dude, you need to listen to the episode that airs tomorrow. It's going to be perfect for you just starting out. That's what you're going to need to hear. And he's like, all right, I'm going to look for it. So there's definitely a lot of information, a lot of good information on the podcast. Definitely check it out. Like I said, it's freely given and by experienced people, and it's amazing to be a part of. I love providing that side of it. It's a cool experience. Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say one last thing here. I don't want to hoard up all the time.
You're good.
But one of the early education programs I took when I didn't really know a whole lot, they kind of they talked down on agents, talked down on attorneys, just said they were kind of useless to get anything done. I mean, you want to talk about being further from the truth. I've made a lot of money working with good agents, and they're the bad ones, can fumble a deal or make things more complicated than it needs to be. But the good investor friendly agents that know what they're doing and can help navigate waters, especially if you're out of town or you're doing it virtually, it goes a long way. So just remember that, and and vet them and make sure they're interested in working with investors, because not all of them are, but the ones that are, you can do a lot of long-term business with them. So just keep that in mind.
That's it. All right. So we're going to pivot a little bit. We're going to go into a Q&A. Software, real estate. We have a lot of people in here that can provide invaluable information. So if you're stuck anywhere in your business, we're definitely here to help out. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat box, however you want to do it. It's a kind of an open room. We're just going to do Q&A, whatever you need. Software or real estate, let's cover it today. If you got questions, we got answers.
This is Yash.
Go ahead.
We chatted last night on Messenger. I just signed up using Basker's link.
Awesome.
Yep. I just watched John's masterclass video, the first one, and it's great content. Thanks, John. There was a mention of IP regarding land deals. I just don't know what IP means. I mean, I could Google it. I just finished watching it before joining.
Yeah, you'll probably won't get it from a Google. But it stands for inverse purchase, IP.
Oh, okay.
And what that is, it was the original Novation. So I created that in 1999, and we did that for many, many years in the housing, flipping business. And we still do it. I love to do it on land. That one I mentioned earlier today, that one, excuse me, that one will be an inverse purchase. And I'm hoping to release or put the book back into publication. I took it off the market for a while. I hope to put that back on the market. And that explains how to do an IP on land itself, because you can do higher end property without using any of your own money.
Got it. Do you go into depth regarding that in your masterclass? Regarding inverse purchase?
No, I don't. That's like a whole course in itself. I mean, when I did the workshop for that, it's a 2-day workshop. I mean, there's a lot to it, but the master class was mainly going to show you how to do mainly $30,000 retail value, $30,000 and below, and not use any of your money. You can use the deposit money that a buyer comes to closing with.
Got it. Well, I mean, do you recommend any resources or something where I can look it up? Like you just mentioned, you can also purchase like high-end horses and stuff, right? I'm just curious.
Yeah. I will be releasing that book again. I just needed to update it.
Got it.
And
Thanks,
that the name of that book, it's on Amazon, but the name of the book is How to Flip High-End Land.
Got it.
Or How to Flip High-End Vacant Land, I think is the name of it.
Okay, I'll look it up.
All right.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Good question. Good question. Who's got another question they need answered today? Junior.
When is the next Hive Mind event?
Oh man. We're shooting for hey, I got answers for that too. We're shooting for end of August, early September. We're probably gonna start working on that stuff right now, but Hive Mind event 2.0 will be in August and September.
Is it going to be online or?
Yes, it should be streamed live.
Oh, okay. And where are you planning to host it?
Excuse me?
Where are you planning to host it?
It's gonna be in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay.
Good question, Junior. That way DeAndre ain't gotta go far. It's down the street from him.
And it's just about a 4 or 5 hour drive for me.
There you go, Frank. So the whole thing with the event is we want to pay homage to all of our Florida people, because we do have a lot of Florida people. So we're probably going to bounce around from coast to coast to give homage to where our cluster of people are, as far as statewide. So I think next year we'll probably do West Coast, since we did Central, and we'll go East Coast this time and West Coast next year. We'll bounce around.
Yeah, give us some highlights from the event.
Highlights from the event.
Ooh, yeah, good idea.
Highlights from the event. We had 15 Hive Mind people there. We've gotten like 5 signups from the event. I did a live demonstration with text the Hive number automation. Had 81 people text in. So some people might be here from that text that I did on stage, but yeah, it was a pretty good demonstration. Those 300 people in the room. Tony Romero's venue is amazing. The host of the event, or Tony Romero hosted the event, but the venue location was a mentor of Tony that owns the whole block. So it was like 140,000 square foot industrial building that they turned into a restaurant, office space. There's a gym, there's a brewery, and there's a venue and restaurants and all that stuff, a bar. So it's all attached to this one industrial space of mixed use. So it was definitely a nice mixed use building. I love seeing mixed use buildings and how they're utilized, just because it kind of opens up the possibilities of how it should be done, because a lot of places that a lot of cities don't like using mixed use buildings, but it was a perfect example of a good mixed use building. It was just amazing. So the venue had a glass wall, and you could see the brewery. So they had all the big cylinders and stuff for making alcohol behind us. So it's pretty interesting. And then there was the bar restaurant behind us, and then they had on the left side was offices. So it's definitely a unique building that was owned by one of the Tony's mentor at the venue. So it was definitely definitely the coolest venue I've ever been to. I will say that. Well thought out. So we had a lot of amazing guests. There's a lot of people there to network with. I got to have dinner with a lot of Hive users. Junior and Ray Navarez, got to spend a lot of time with them this weekend. It was just a great experience all around. Just to spend with other like-minded individuals. Claudette was there as well. I like Claudette. She's quite a character. So
easy, Daniel. I'm in the room.
I know. It's hard not to talk about you since you're here. So Claudette cracks me up because Claudette got one of the sponsored tickets to go there, and she shows up, and she sat by the table, and I'm like, aren't you gonna go to the event? She's like, no, I'm just here to spend time with you guys. I'm like, oh, thanks, Claudette. So then the event was an evening event. So Claudette, she's like, I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm like, okay, Claudette.
Wow, Daniel, that's what we're doing tonight.
Hey. It was no shade at all. I wish I had the ability
I was
to
tired,
go
yeah.
I know. I understand. I get it. So
Let me just chime in. I want to thank Coach for handing out the tickets. It was a great experience. I'm glad I went. A lot of great information, a lot of repeat information, I thought, but coming from different perspectives and from a much younger crowd of people. So that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed that, but it was just a long, a whole lot of talking and long speakers for me. But it was a great experience, and I'm sure I will go again on my own dime this time. Thank you, Daniel.
no problem. I'm glad you mentioned that too. There was a lot of younger demographics. So there was a lot of, since Tony himself is young, he gets a lot of younger audiences that follow him. So there was a lot of younger people there, which was I like appealing. I like talking to younger people anyway, because it's there's a lot of excitement that comes with that. So it's kind of cool seeing a lot of young people doing real estate flipping and all that stuff, and actually doing the game. Go ahead, Junior.
Yeah, and they come with a lot of questions too. I'm glad to answer them because they were like all excited, trying to like, when somebody has that hustle, you know what I mean? Like they want to make sure it works. So I'm happy to help them out. And we actually got to spend time with one of the local investors. We went to this fix and flip. He's like 22, 21, I think. That's the one where you talked to that he's gonna be on your podcast.
Yep.
It was great.
So yeah, I think he's 22. And they went to go see a flip that he was working on. So there was just a lot of the youngest person was there is 14. There was a 14-year-old at the event. It's crazy. So 14, imagine learning this at 14 years old. That's craziness. A lot of potential. There's a lot of potential in that room. So I hope to see big things from that group, because there was a lot of young people there, and there was like a lot of like young people grouping together too. So Junior, can you correct me on this one? Those like more than like 2 or 3 companies of like 25 and younger wholesale companies out there that they're just wholesaling together, and they're all young, under 25.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to see. They got a lot of hustle in there. So it was an interesting event. Like I said, I like seeing young people succeed and know their direction, because I feel a lot of young people, they get lost and don't know which way to go. So it's kind of cool seeing people with young have a direction and know where they're going. They can kind of create their own future at such a young age. They're unstoppable. So it's very, very, very good event. Anybody have a question? I do like talking, but not by myself.
Hey, Dave, I do got a question. This is Ramar.
Go ahead, Ramar.
So, I was driving for dollars on this weekend. I came across some property industrial. How does that work? I know I'm fairly new. I was pulling up on my PropStream app and I said industrial land vacant. How does that work? I know that's probably far beyond me right now, but just for the G with, because I got it in my app and maybe I can do something later on if you got any information on that.
Just work it like a house lead or work it like a land deal. If it's vacant, skip trace the owners and see if they're looking to sell. This is something that one of the speakers talked about, is that a lot of people they get overwhelmed by larger deals, but it's the same process. Whatever thing you would do for a normal land or vacant house, you do the same thing for a vacant industrial. And when you work with bigger properties, you can make a bigger spread. So skip tracing them, seeing if they want to sell, see if they're open to terms. If they are looking to sell, what do they want for it? All that good stuff. You kind of go down the same path and see what comes up. The biggest thing is, like I said, if you can get to a certain point, then you can like, hey, I now have a vacant industrial lead. They're looking for this amount. It's been vacant for 6 months, just like you would do a house, and then just put it out there and see if somebody is interested in buying it. So Anthony's mentor, Logan, they just bought a couple industrial buildings in Texas. So there's buyers out there looking for it, and there's a lot of opportunity there for it. You just got to kind of do the front end work of it as far as making sure they want to sell. Because sometimes people with large amounts of money, they might just sit on it for a while and not do anything. But that's not everybody. Eventually the money runs out and they'll be stuck with it and in foreclosure just like everybody else, or on the tax list. And you can make a big spread on that just by finding motivated sellers. They come in all different price points. I hope that answers your question, Ramar.
It did. In my mind, I thought you were gonna give me like this complicated answer, and you gave me this real chill, like, hey, it's just like anything else. I'm like, really? Okay, cool.
You just work it like
I appreciate it though.
Yeah, you just work it like everything else, man. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. See if they're looking to sell and work the deal at their price point and see if it works. Because there's motivated sellers in every sector. There's motivated office. There's motivated multifamily. There's motivated industrial. There's motivated commercial. All types. There's motivated all types of motivation. So what happens with a lot of people this high price points is they might be Wall Street. So I actually heard the story. Those Wall Street people, they're high income earners. So they like two of them put in to buy a multifamily unit, but they're Wall Street. They work the stocks. They don't work real estate. So they ended up getting loaned and financed and all that stuff, but they couldn't manage the property. So the property went to crap, and they ended up being a motivated seller. And somebody took the property subject to using their mortgage, and it was like a 60 unit. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. There's motivated sellers in every price point.
Hey Daniel, what's up, man? I got a question. I know I heard you say something about being able to integrate a dollar before. I don't really see the need for it, but some people that I'm working with want to integrate like ZenCall or ReadyMode, whatever it's called right now. And they were wondering how we would do that. I know Hive Mind's an open API, right?
Yes, so they can do it through the API if they have the capabilities to do that. Usually you have to have some type of program to connect it. The API keys in your company settings, or they can do it through Zapier, or they can just do a form from the cold call. So it's really up to how technical they want to get into it, but they can connect it in multiple different ways. But yeah, I talked to somebody that like, oh, I want to connect my dialer to it. I was like, is it a triple line or a single line? What's a single line? I'm like, if it's a single line, don't even worry about it. We could do a single line.
So, yeah, I mean, I think the single line, the power dialer is fine. I mean, the VAs, they running through 100 171 and some change per hour. So that's almost like 1,000. If this could be like 1,000, a little bit over 1,000 calls a day. So I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah. It's hard painting the picture sometimes because people don't. Sometimes they don't see they're used to doing their own thing, so they might not see the value in it. It's all good though. Good question, Wayne. Christopher, how's everything going with you?
Going good. Just looking at the actual drip campaign, but trying to see like what's more practical to sit on 15 minutes or 5 minutes, because I have a lot of leads so far. So I'm just trying to see what's more practical, because there's so many, like, because I have like over 30,000 right now. And I'm trying to see like what's more practical to put in each and every time to send out. Or whatever it is.
I would test it out. I mean, you can meter it. So if you're not getting enough flow while you're working, just turn it up. You always want to make sure if you're the one working the hours that you get the most work out of it. So if you feel like there's dead space and dead time, turn it up.
Okay, cool.
Not everybody only has a certain amount of hours to do the job that's required. So make sure you utilize your time properly and make sure you get the best out of it.
For sure. Okay.
Mr. DeAndre.
Hello.
Hey, one thing I like that you do is kind of break down what your VAs do in your business, because DeAndre's killing it and it's just him and 3 VAs. So I'm kind of curious about this.
So one of the VAs, they're responsible for strictly driving for dollars virtually. So we look for infill lots. Like we'll pick a city, and then she'll literally go there and then just pluck lots that we see, and then add them to our driving for dollars list, because we know that when we pull these lists, we're not going to get all the data that we need. So we're always I'm always trying to get, if I can get every lot in the city, then that's what I want. So that's her job all day, every day. And she also pulls the data, and she pulls the data, does the submits it for skip tracing and drive for dollars. So she's like responsible for all of that. And then my second VA, she's responsible for all the cold leads. So all the cold leads that are coming in, the not interested, the not right now, the wrong numbers, the leave me alones. And she's the one that kind of pre-qualifies them to see if they're interested in selling, so all cold. She does all the cold follow-ups, all that crap. And then I have one VA who does all the hot leads. So once the cold VA pre-qualifies one, a seller, then I become warm to hot. And then I have a VA that comes in who does all the hot leads and warm leads. And I call them warm. Also, we don't cold call, we only text, and then we only call back the people that, like sometimes we text people, they'll call us back, and then we'll call them back. So I call them warm calls, not cold calls, because I don't do cold calling. So all warm and hot leads, he sends the contracts, he makes the offers. And right now I'm just in charge of just doing all the dispositions, dispose, and keeping the relationships good with the buyers. And that's going to be the next position I hire out, is dispositions and dealing with the buyers. But yeah, so that's currently where I'm at now. So one driver for dollars, one cold leads, one hot lead, and then me, I'm dispo.
Oh, that's good, man. I was kind of curious how you utilize them. So that's pretty good insight. Because driving for dollars is really good. Really
Yeah,
good.
Man, they're pretty dope, man. They're efficient, they're fast. I don't really have to watch them as much. I follow up with them. We have meetings and stuff like that. But they've been with me since last year, March, April around. So they're pretty good, solid team. And I'm glad I picked right the first time, because sometimes you got to kiss a couple frogs with VAs until you get the right one. But every single VA that I picked, the first time I hired them, everything has been well. I mean, we did start on, kind of shaky in the beginning on some of them, but once everything got together, like they've been just like all damn near perfect to me, in my opinion. So, and that's not normal. You may have to get one, then that one quit, so you don't like them, and then another one that you got to keep going. But I picked right the first time, so excited about that.
Is there a go ahead, Wayne?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, hey, what's up, DeAndre? I was just gonna say, man, did you do your hiring through Fiverr or Upwork or something like that after the interview process, or did you go through like a service originally and then they just moved over with you?
Nah, I went through a service, but at the same time, even though I went through a service, I still had to interview them and make sure that I actually like the person I'm hiring. But I did go through a service. But even though I went through a service, hold on one second. Even though I went through a service, I'm not paying the service because you pay the service and then the service pays the VAs. So I paid, I got the service or whatever, but I'm responsible for paying my VAs directly. Like I don't pay the service, they don't train them, I train them and I interview them. So I do everything directly to them. So the service company, they did their job. It's me directly with the VA now. Now, if something comes up or I got some issues, concerns, I can reach out, but I pay the VAs directly and deal with them directly.
Okay.
That's what's up.
That's good.
Just to give her a plug, I know Andrea Stakes was there, right?
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh man, that's what my VA that I got for all my hot and warm leads. I got him from Andrea, and he's just been like a firecracker ever since I hired him. Like that, I love that dude, man. And Andrea gave him to me, and it's honestly I couldn't ask for nobody better. So Andrea Stakes, she was at the event in Milwaukee.
Yeah, she's good. I like. Have you ever pulled the tax roll?
Me?
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
So the tax roll has every property in the county, and usually they're identified by what property type they are. So you said if you had every land parcel, that might be the next list you want to pull.
Yeah, the tax roll.
You get the whole roll and then dissect it to whatever leads you want, and then that'd be your list because you'll have everybody essentially at that point.
Yeah, with that, what did I get? I will get like houses, land. I will get everything with that, right?
Yeah. That's where you have a data management to kind of cut it up for you based off
Right.
of what you're actually looking for. But you'll get everything you need on one hit. You might just have to update it like every year after people buy and sell. To that effect, So check it out, the tax roll. Says you're looking for land. It might be a little cumbersome for some people because they might give you like a CD or something like that. But once you overcome that file and dissect it, you should be able to get all the leads you want out of it. Go ahead, Matthew.
Well, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, kind of, I don't know, whatever, personally been on a little bit of a break here for a while, but trying to ramp back up into some things and really any kind of tips anybody has for cleaning data as far as, I'm pulling lists from PropStream here in North Carolina and Virginia, and then skip tracing through Lead Sherpa. And it's some pretty good numbers and stuff that I get back, but I end up with like 6 numbers. It's the same, format that everybody kind of deals with, whatever, 6 numbers, last seen, mobile, landline kind of deals, relatives, and everything else. Any kind of real tips anybody has to quickly clean that kind of data before uploading? Because I end up going back into the system and almost going through each and every one and organizing, this is the good number, this is the bad number I don't want, kind of a deal before actually trying to send anything out.
So that's just I think that's with the Excel. It really up to you how much you want to clean it up. I know DeAndre, he can probably speak on this. He deletes all the landlines and he leaves the cell phones. So that's something how because DeAndre is just straight texting, he doesn't want the landlines. So for his business and his company, he deletes everything that doesn't respond, that doesn't necessarily he doesn't need. So it's a lot with just scrubbing that information you don't want, organizing the list, delete it, cycle stuff over. With the system, you can create automations to cycle the numbers, so you're not doing it manually. But that's always
I'm trying to get that figured out. I got a consultation deal again set up for tomorrow or whatever. That's one of the topics I want to ask about. But yeah, again, I mean, it does become overwhelming and time consuming, and that's part of it. And obviously would like to kind of outsource that at some point, but at the same time, I want to have it pretty streamlined to know what I'm talking about whenever I'm asking somebody to do that as well.
So the best thing is just like training. So you do it, record yourself doing it, and then have somebody go through it, watch them while they do it, and then you can hire out that whole position out, because can be tedious and time consuming, but it's one of those things where if you train properly, they should be able to follow along, even if they pause and play and listen and rewatch, and they'll get it eventually.
No, right. Cool deal. Thank you.
No problem. Go ahead, Ramar.
My apologies for all the questions. My apologies. So, say you have something on Pop Stream as far as I just got the phone with a motivated seller, and but I noticed that his vacant land was pulled off the MLS. It was like 190 days on the market. However, there is no comparables on the thing, but it's buildable, all that stuff. So my question is the fact that it's pulled off the market a red flag? And then how do you get comparables when there's no comparables around there listed?
So that is a motivated seller. So if they pulled it off the market, there's people that target their agents because they have access to the essentially people that remove their property off the MLS. That's all they target. So if it didn't sell for whatever reason, there could be multiple factors. So the agent didn't price it right, didn't do any work, or they were too high. There's a lot of different factors. So if it was on market, which means they wanted to sell, if it was pulled, there has to be a reason why they don't want to sell anymore, and it could be one of those factors. So a lot of agents, especially with land, they'll list it at whatever price the seller wants, because they'll sign it for a 6-month or year contract, and they'll just sit on it. They don't care. They will literally wait for an offer to come in, and, oh, your price isn't right, let's try lowering it after 6 months. And they don't try and help sellers solve the property. So you can definitely make offers to listed properties that are just sitting there, because most cases they've never received an offer. Probably, yeah, most cases they never received an offer. So to bring this full circle, Claudette, I was talking to Claudette about this over the weekend. The 3,400 acre lead property came across her. So Anthony told her they wanted 25 million, and it sat in the market for however long it's been there. So Anthony told Claudette to offer 15, so she offered 15, and she's waiting for a response back. They probably haven't received an offer in years. It doesn't hurt anything to shoot an offer, because it's probably the only offer they'll get for a long time. So there's a lot of opportunity, especially with land, because if it's on market, there's a good chance they haven't got any offers, and if they did, they're low balls. So with land, we try and create value. So if you can get time while it's under contract to create that value, you can do a deal on MLS. You just have to create that value.
Tracking on. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey man, I love failed listings, man. I call them failed listings. I love them.
Failed listings, they're great.
Daniel, to follow up on what you just said. So if you're submitting an offer for a property that is worth, at 15 million, okay, usually if it is on the market, they ask for like proof of funds and stuff, right? So how do you guys handle about it?
So this was amazing. So I'm gonna bring this. This isn't mine. This is what I learned this weekend by going to a real estate event this past weekend. Amazing content you can get just by attending real estate events like this. So what I learned this weekend is he was teaching you how to make offers to agents. If I butcher this a little bit, I'm sorry. I was partially listening, but I was listening. Okay. So he says you offer a 10-day contingency period to produce a proof of funds. What that does, and this is for houses, you can ask for more if it's land, but if it's a good enough deal, you can pitch it to your core investors to get actual proof of funds from that deal. So they ask for a 10-day due diligence period to produce proof of funds before it's even a deal. So what I think the phraseology he used was, I have partners and investors that I work with and money partners. I can't get that paperwork till I have a property under contract, because it's like the chicken and egg thing. So
Got
you're
it.
not going to be able to get proof of funds without a contract. You can't get a contract without the proof of funds. So you kind of have to play that chicken and egg game with them. So, hey, I'm an investor and I work with other investors. In order to get proof of funds for this, I have to get a contract on this, and you understand that.
Yep,
Do those
that's
with
smart.
cash. Yeah. So you kind of work your way in there. And then what he does is, the earnest money, if you find a buyer in that 10-day period, you use their proof of funds to lock it up, and you use their earnest money to lock it up as if your earnest money, because most of the time they won't. Most agents are going to want earnest money. So if you can maneuver the agent and maneuver the cash buyer to use each other's earnest money, you're nothing out of pocket.
Yeah, this will probably work if if it is on the market for a long time, or if it is like an off-market listing. I mean that was taken off of the market, right?
Yep. So, and this is one of the things where you got to be creative. So if it's a land deal on market, it's been sitting there for a long time. It just has.
Yeah.
Most people that want to sell land, they've been wanting to sell it for a long time, and they're waiting for their price. So you just got to go to the seller. Hey, if you want your price, I'm gonna need time to do my due diligence. This isn't a house where I know what the ARV is. This is land. I don't even know if it's buildable. So they're gonna understand that, and that's one of like the gatekeeps you have to overcome whenever you're dealing with agents as a whole, in most cases anyway, because they're gonna see if you know your stuff. You gotta ask for contingencies. You gotta ask for an option. You gotta ask for due diligence period. If not, they're just gonna say they're gonna boss you around. You gotta come in with your parameters, what you want and what you need based off of your business, and you ask for that straight up, right up front in writing.
Got it.
So,
Oh, sorry, man.
go ahead, Wayne.
Now, I just had a quick question. Because failed listings was one of the things I used to target on PropStream, and now with the whole thing about them not getting the failed listings from the MLS or Zillow or whatever it is anymore, how are you guys kind of like counteracting that as far as finding out what the failed listings are? Which ones are failed listings?
Make a friend with an agent. Agents are your best friends. They have valuable information that you can utilize and leverage. So if you have one agent in your state that you're friends with, or you become an agent yourself, you can pull that list yourself. You don't need PropStream. I have a guy out here in LA. He doesn't use any list. He pulls the tax list, and he uses his license to get the data, and that's it. And he goes door knocking. So
Ooh, that's what's up.
It's one of those things where like every individual business is different, and it's all based off of what you need, and what you're trying to accomplish. So attend real estate events. I learned that this weekend. I mean, I knew I could do listings with agents and stuff like that, but he gave you the layout for it, So attend, whenever you have opportunity to attend events like this, there's always good information for you.
Hey, just to add to Daniel, go a little deeper. I hit up some agents for some failed listings, but you got to hit up an agent that's familiar with the market and that has MLS access to that market. Because I hit up a Tampa agent for data in Jacksonville. That wasn't gonna work. Like, hey, my access is just across these two counties or whatever. So just make sure that they have access to that. Now you have some brokerages or whatever. I don't know how they do it, but some agents, they have access to, I don't know, MLS like all throughout the state. But just make sure that wherever market you're trying to get those failed listings in, they have access to that MLS. And hey, if I do some deals, then I'll make sure I give you a cut, bring some value, like maybe bring the deal back and say, hey, I got this deal. Or maybe, come to an agreement. Well, generally they're gonna want kind of that ahead of time. They're gonna kind of be like, hey, well, what's in it for me? And you got to figure out the structure where this guy pulls the failed listings. I get deals. Is it 1,000 a deal, 2,000 a deal? So yeah, just bring value. They give you value by getting you the list. So, yep.
And I'll go behind him on that. Is lead with the value. Don't ask for favors without leading with value. So, because you're never going to get what you want if you don't lead with value. So, hey, can you do me a favor? I'm looking for failed listings. If I can get any contracts in this, I'll pay you $1,000 off the thing. All I have to do is provide the information, and I'll make sure you get paid on the back end. Really, really simple. And you can kind of maneuver people to do, you can manipulate people to bring you the stuff you need. So the failed listings, and I forgot about the county specific thing. That was a good tip, DeAndre. Not everybody has access statewide. Great tip. So you might need regional agents to hit up to get that information.
I missed that last part that you said. What about the statewide access?
Not all agents have access to statewide data.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you might need to hit up regional, like DeAndre's in Florida. If he needs Tampa information, he has to talk to a Tampa agent. If he needs Jacksonville information, he might need a Jacksonville agent. And if he needs Miami information, he might need to talk to a Miami agent.
Right. Because they have to sign up for different MLS services, and it get really pricey to sign up for the whole state.
Yeah. Yep. That was the question. Good question, Ramar. I think that was you that started with you. Good question, Ramar. So, like I said, I learned a lot this weekend. Terrell Johnson says him and his business partner are agents in Tampa. If anybody needs anything, contact him. There you go. Look at that, Terrell. Thanks, Terrell. Appreciate it. We have enough. Go ahead, Ann.
DeAndre, is your link for the VAs that Integria partners? Is that the one that is still your favorite?
I have two different ones. That one and another one. I have to make sure that's still like good. But if are you looking to get VAs?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you got my number. So text me, and then and I'll let you know because I work with two different people. So I'll let you know the pros and cons, and then maybe you can decide like, okay, I want to go this route or that route.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah,
thanks.
text me. Text me. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Not a question, but I just wanted to give a big shout out to Bascar and Dre. Y'all held it down Saturday, man. That was a great room. And y'all stayed back a little longer, and it carried over, but it was a lot of good information, and I got a lot out of it too. So, as always, man, you guys always go givers, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, I thank you, man. No, it was dope, man. Bascar was a great co-host. We held it down. We had a lot of good interactions. And Eastern Standard Time ends at 3, but it probably went like maybe 40 minutes longer. I don't know. But I was, so anytime I can bring value to you guys, I will. So, well, that was fun though. I'll do it again, honestly.
It was 45 minutes over because I ended up looking at my phone. I'm like, they're still on?
Yeah.
They're still going. So I sat in the crowd and not listened. I was there to support in numbers. I was there in spirit. All right. All right. We got time for one more question. Who's got the last question?
I have the last question. Hi.
Hi, Loretta. Go ahead, Loretta.
I just got on Deal Machine.
Awesome.
And I'm learning. It was so strange to me because I said, oh, they have a list, they have this. Oh my goodness, I take a picture, put that up. So I'm really learning, and it's really, really, it's fun for me. So I went out all day. Oh gosh, I can't keep up with the days the other day. And it was just fun walking down the street, taking pictures, sending it to Deal Machine, and getting back a note from them saying, okay, you owe us $50. I said, what? Because I know you have to pay, but I didn't know, I'm kind of just learning as I go. I should be reading more, but it's so exciting for me because the deals I tried to do 25 years ago, they're so easier with Deal Machine. So I'm enjoying that. I'm learning that. And then they have videos and that's helping me too. So, and then the site is great too. So I'm having fun, you guys. I just can't wait till I get my first house. So I've opened it up also because I'm working with a agent here in sunny California, and we're opening it up to lease with options to buy, because there are so many people that can't afford I don't even want to say a down payment. I guess they can't qualify yet. Their credit is not the greatest, but they can pay the monthly note because they're staying in apartment buildings and paying $2,300 to $3,300 a month. So the company that I'm with, Home Partners, you guys heard of them before? Home Partners, Partner Homes. They do this, and all they have to do to qualify is have a great job that pays enough money where they can lease it with option to buy. Then they go get their own mortgage, or they can stay with them. So it's called Partners Home Partners. That's what it's called. I think they're out of Chicago. So that's what I'm doing there. And I found me an agent, so it's really great. So we're gonna work together. That's what we're doing together. So I'm on it, you guys. When I get my big one out, I'll probably run up and down to San Diego, to Mecca, because it's coming. I know it's coming. Yeah.
You gotta get it done. Gotta get done, Loretta.
I'm gonna get it done. So thank you for listening.
No problem. Go ahead, Ann.
Does anybody on here use Deal Bell?
Anthony does. I haven't used them yet.
Okay. Do you know if he's pretty happy with it?
Yeah, I don't. You have to ask him with that. I don't know. I know he uses it because, like, I know Deal Belt does like deep skip tracing, so it gets you like family members and ancestors and all that good stuff. It'll give you like a bunch of data, but I haven't used it personally.
Okay.
It's pretty good stuff. I've skipped a few lists through it or whatever. It's pretty detailed. I just went back with the lead Sherpa stuff because of the monthly subscription aspect. I wasn't doing enough volume to justify it, but it really is some pretty good data.
How much was the monthly subscription? You recall?
It's like $50 a month or something like that. And then I think somewhere around like 10 to 12 cents or something like that per skip. And then you can get a comprehensive, if you can't find, that's the thing that they keep pushing, is the comprehensive report that you get, like relatives and neighbors. And I mean, I got one just to see it. It's like $5 for that. And I mean, it literally was like 6 or 7 pages of information.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody coming out today. We'll end it right there. Thanks for bringing the questions. Thanks for coming out. Our next call is Thursday at 7 Central. We hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time. Have a good week. Let's get some deals done. Have a good day, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Hive, baby.